Hey, fellow loved ones. I had to come in here and share this with you all. I found myself awake last night. I actually fell asleep early yesterday, so then I woke up at like 11:30, and during that time, if I can't get back to sleep, I like to just commune with my guides, the Holy Spirit, Yeshua, and I was laying there and I sort of kind of trailed off into this assessment or this reassessment of the friendships that I have and no longer have. And I had just to give you a quick backstory, I had a friendship. I think we were friends from the year 2000. So, 2000 up until I think 2022 or 23, we were friends, and then out of nowhere the friendship just dissolved. It didn't even dissolve, it was snatched away. It was the most weird, most bizarre thing, and I really can't I don't I'm still confused by it. I'm still puzzled by it. But when I tune in and speak with my guides, they're just like, leave it. And there was no indication in that friendship that there was a reason for us to not still be connected in that way. It was just so odd, bizarre. It was a little bit eerie, and we were friends, but we were like we lived thousands of miles away from each other. So it still didn't make sense to me, but okay. So I was thinking about that a little bit, and every once in a while I start to, I don't even know if it's called feeling sorry for myself, but every blue moon I find myself wondering, wow, what did I do to deserve X, Y, and Z? And now we know everything is for our expansion. Everything is meant to be revealed. We're meant to be shown for whatever reason. And the truth is sometimes those relationships are not meant to last as long as you anticipated them to last, even though we were friends for decades. Okay. So it had me assessing all of the friendships and relationships that I have or had. And as I was assessing it, it really was a self assessment, because we know that we manifest our own reality. No matter what the reality looks like, there is something on an energetic soul level that is bringing this, magnetizing the experience that we're having to us. A lot of people don't like to hear it, because if they're in a tough situation, they feel like, no, I didn't ask for this. I'm a good person. But sometimes we have to understand that these things happen so that we can evolve. Bad things happen to good people. Okay? So the so-called bad things that happen are experiences that we might not necessarily desire, but they're meant to wake us up. They're meant to get our attention. And at that point, you have to ask yourself, what is the message and what is the lesson here? And you have to, if you can't figure it out and it doesn't come to you, you ask for help. Please help me understand this. Please help me see what the message is. Put it before me. Help me really release any type of blockages that's keeping me from seeing this. Reveal it to me. Reveal the lesson. Help me carry it out. Whatever the lesson is, help me learn it so that I can move on and come out on the other side victorious, because that's what's going to happen. And so, being human, you have that thing where you can fall into, okay, the victim. And I am no victim, and I know this. And I know this anytime I fall into, well, why did they do this to me? Or I didn't deserve this. And while it's true, I didn't. And I deserve the best, because I'm pure of heart. And I always extend my best when I go to do that. So it has really nothing to do with that piece of it, but it's more about my growth. And that's what we have to know and understand. And there are relationships that a lot of us stay in, whether they're friendships or romantic relationships. We stay in them and we overextend ourselves when we are not meant to do that. there are signs and symbols and synchronicities and all of those things, clues all around us to tell us, and we know them, but we ignore them, to tell us, hey, you know what, it's time for you to sort of fall back a little bit. And it might not be time for you to end the relationship, but it just might be time for you to maybe create a new timeline. You know what I'm saying? Like, breathe new life into the relationship. And that might mean setting some sort of boundaries for yourself and the other person. Because most of the time it's you know what I mean? It's really less about the other person. People can only do what we allow them to do. Okay, so if we're overextending and constantly giving, that's on us. And we're constantly giving, but there's no reciprocity, and we know that and we feel that, that's on us. If you constantly give and you love to just give, that's fine too, because my position has always been, and this is how I was taught and raised, you give and give. You don't give because you expect something in return. And that's how I've always moved. At the same time, as I've gotten older, it's like, well, reciprocity is a nice thing as well. Okay, so I can show up for people, and then when I need some help and people aren't showing up for me, I have to ask myself, what's the lesson here? And what I discovered, what I was told, I was talking to Yeshua Christ, and Yeshua said, you surround yourself with a network. It's your energy, with a network of people who you have to ask for help, because I don't like asking for help. And so because I don't like asking for help and I always want to do things on my own, I surrounded myself with a network of people who are probably willing to help if I ask, but I have to ask them. So the energy that I created for myself is not conducive to those same people offering to help without me having to ask. So that is part of the mastery for me. Learn to ask for help. This is part of your abundance. You ask for the help, and the people around you are more than willing to help if you want it. It's not about them not being there or not being good friends. You know, there are things that you didn't share. There are things that you didn't even mention. You set this up for yourself. This is your own manifestation. So while I was laying there and having this conversation and this epiphany, this aha, this, teaching, I was like, and Yeshua Christ, Jesus, is my friend. He calls me my friend. When he talks to me, my friend. He is my friend, my master teacher. We all know that Jesus was, and is, always will be a master healer. So while I'm laying there, and before I get to that, he also trains me and mentors me when I am also doing healing and the different things for other people and my family and friends, right? He tells me when to hold, when to fold, when to walk away, when to do this, what modalities are best, what's needed, and all that. Now, I can feel into it on my own, but in the spirit of flexing my divine feminine, I sit back and allow the lessons to come in, and then I get the information that way too. So with that, I'm laying there and I'm in discomfort, and I've done some healing modalities on myself, and it dawned on me. I said, Yeshua, I never asked you to heal me, did I? And just because it's the same thing. When you have your spirit guides, your team of light, they can guide you and assist you along the way, but you also have to ask for help. You have to use your lips, your mouth. You can even telepathically ask for help. What do I say all the time? These messages and these videos and things aren't just for you. They're for me too. I go back and I refer to some of the things, some of the teachings, because they're for me too. So I am to also ask for help. And when so he was also included in this network of friends that I have to ask for help. I said, Jesus, I said, Yeshua. I said, Yeshua, I never asked you to heal me, did I? And he said, no. And I'm like, because I was always, practicing in the spirit of practicing modalities, I would practice on myself first before going to help somebody else. So when that hit me, I was like, of all the friends that I could ask, I didn't even ask the friend, the main one. And I was just so outdone. And I was like, yeah, sure. Will you please heal me? And I just pointed out the areas that I was uncomfortable in so that I could go to sleep. And, he worked with me and we did the healing and stuff like that. But it was just like, duh. So the moral of the story is check yourself. That's the moral of the story. You are not a victim. We are powerful manifestors. We are quantum beings. I always say we're magnetic, sentient, quantum beings. We are Wi-Fi signals. Our heart is, the boss. Use your heart. Speak from your heart. You can do it telepathically. And send the signals out from your heart. Everything that you are experiencing on some level is a manifestation that you brought into your experience. It could be a soul level. As the human, you may not understand why this is happening. But I implore you to ask, what's going on? Why is this happening? What is the message? What is the lesson? Help me learn the lesson. And you speak to your higher self, your team of light, and ask for the help so you can move through it. You are not a victim. Stop blaming other people and pointing fingers. You are meant to experience this so that you can be shown, so that you can evolve, so that you can share, so that you can shine even brighter, so that you can vibrate even higher, and so that you have a story to tell how you overcame. That is the whole point in this. But when I tell you, that was time well spent. I wasn't awake worrying and pondering outcomes about things I have no control over. I was literally allowing it to be a healing session for myself. And anytime you find yourself awake and starting to worry and ruminate over things, or fall into the, sorry for yourself. And if you shed tears, shed the tears, feel the emotions and all of that. And if you have to later on do a release letter, if you have to do that, do that. If you want to know how to do that, ask me and I'll tell you. If you already know how, get to it. And then move right along with your learning. That's what this is. This is a school. If you look at it that way, from more of a 5D perspective, that Earth is a school. We are wearing Earth suits and we are here to learn these lessons, to grow and evolve, and to come out on the other side loving our experience. We're supposed to love it while we're in it. It can be a little bit hard to do, but once you start to sort of break down all of the pieces, then it becomes easier. And then you can also then extend compassion to yourself, understanding and compassion to yourself. Like, oh, it wasn't them, it was me. And truer words have never been spoken. It's not you, it's me. And then extend compassion to them because you chose this. And with the same group of people, you can choose to change your perspective and say, you know what? I have generous, kind friends who always reach out and ask if I need things. They're prosperous and they are abundant in all that's great. All of my friends are truly loving and kind and giving people. But again, my energy doesn't say, help, I need help. My energy is always that of, I can do it myself, or it's already done, or I'm always self-coaching. So by the time, I'm on the other side of it and I'm talking to people, they have no idea. So whose fault is it? I'm no victim. I'm loved. I'm surrounded by a continuum of pure, divine, unconditional love and light and support. And I have loving people and friends in my life. Take that to heart. Write notes. If you have to rewind this and go over it again, do it. Until the next time, live simply and be kind.